Hey there! Imagine you're lying under the stars, in the stillness of the night, and everything around you fades away. There's no time, no boundaries, just you and the endless cosmos. Now close your eyes and allow yourself to drift into one of the greatest stories ever told. A story about how the universe came to be. A theory that challenges everything we think we know and makes us ask the question: what if all of this is not just a coincidence? Are you ready? Then let's embark on a journey that spans billions of years, billions of light years, and opens a world where there's no beginning and no end. In the beginning, there was nothing, no light, no time, no space. Just an infinitely small, infinitely dense point, often referred to as a singularity. This was the start of everything we know, an event that would unfold into what we call the Big Bang. It wasn't an explosion in space as we often think of it, but rather an expansion of space itself, stretching out from that tiny point, pushing outward, carrying with it the seeds of everything: stars, galaxies, planets, and eventually, life itself. In that moment, around 13.8 billion years ago, all the matter and energy in the universe was concentrated into an area smaller than an atom. Then, suddenly, everything began to expand. Faster than the speed of light at first, this rapid expansion is known as cosmic inflation. As space stretched out, it cooled down, allowing subatomic particles to form. First came quarks, the building blocks of matter, then they combined to form protons and neutrons. As the universe continued to cool, these particles joined together to create hydrogen and helium, the simplest and most abundant elements in the universe. The universe was still a chaotic, hot, and dense place, a glowing soup of particles and energy. But over time, as it continued to expand, the temperature dropped enough for atoms to form. For the first time, light could travel freely through space, and the universe became transparent, allowing us to see the first moments of creation. This is known as the cosmic microwave background radiation, basically, the afterglow of the Big Bang, still detectable today. With atoms in place, gravity began to work its magic. Over millions of years, clumps of gas formed, collapsing under their own weight to create the first stars. These stars were born in vast, swirling clouds of hydrogen and helium, where nuclear fusion ignited, and light shone for the first time. In their hearts, these stars created heavier elements like carbon, oxygen, and iron, the building blocks for everything else in the universe, including life itself. As these early stars lived out their lives and exploded in supernovae, they scattered these elements into space, enriching the interstellar medium. These elements then came together to form new stars, planets, and other celestial bodies, setting the stage for the creation of galaxies and everything we see in the sky today. The process of star formation and destruction, creation and annihilation, continued in cycles, driving the evolution of the universe, filling it with beauty and complexity. But the universe was not static. It was expanding, stretching out, and the expansion was accelerating. This discovery, made in the late 20th century, shocked scientists. It was the discovery that the universe was not just expanding, but that the expansion was speeding up. Something, later dubbed dark energy, was pushing galaxies apart, making the universe grow faster and faster over time. The reason for this accelerated expansion remains one of the greatest mysteries in cosmology. What is dark energy? Where does it come from? Why is it causing the universe to expand faster rather than slow down as we might expect due to gravity? These questions continue to puzzle scientists and astronomers as they study the deepest corners of space and time, looking for answers. Meanwhile, stars continue to be born, live out their lives, and die, giving birth to new generations of elements and galaxies. Some stars, when they reach the end of their life cycle, collapse into black holes, regions of space where gravity is so strong that not even light can escape. Black holes, once thought to be simple cosmic oddities, are now understood to play a crucial role in the formation and evolution of galaxies, acting as the engines at the center of many galaxies, including our own Milky Way. Through all this, the universe continues to evolve. From the first moments of the Big Bang to the present day, it has been an ongoing story of change and transformation. New galaxies are being born even now, while old ones drift apart, their stars burning out one by one. In the far future, the universe will continue to expand, and stars will eventually run out of fuel. The galaxies will grow dark, and the universe will become a cold, dark place. Yet, even in this bleak future, the echoes of the Big Bang will still be there, whispering the story of how everything began. As we look up at the stars, we are looking back in time, seeing the light that left those distant stars millions or even billions of years ago. In a sense, we are all time travelers, peering into the past, trying to understand the origins of everything around us. The story of the universe is still unfolding, and though we have learned much, so much remains unknown, waiting for the next discovery, the next breakthrough in our understanding of the cosmos. And so, the universe continues, a vast, mysterious place full of wonders and questions, a story that began in a singularity and continues to unfold before our eyes, an ever-expanding tapestry of existence, stretching out into eternity. The Big Bang may have been the start, but it was only the beginning of an endless journey, one that will never truly have an end. As the universe continued to stretch outward, its fate was being written in the stars. Some of these stars would burn out and die in magnificent explosions, called supernovae, scattering their precious elements far and wide. These explosions were not just spectacular displays of cosmic power, they were the engines of creation, forging the elements needed for life and shaping the galaxies and solar systems to come. Over billions of years, the cosmos evolved from a chaotic, hot soup of particles to the organized and structured universe we observe today. Stars, planets, and galaxies all emerged from this vast cosmic dance, orchestrated by gravity and the fundamental forces that govern the universe. Yet, this march toward order came with its own set of mysteries. As scientists observed the night sky with ever more powerful telescopes, they discovered that galaxies were not just moving apart, they were accelerating away from each other, as if some invisible force was pushing them apart. This force, later named dark energy, seemed to counteract the pull of gravity, forcing the universe to expand at an ever-increasing rate. No one knew what dark energy was, only that it made up the vast majority of the universe's energy content. This was a puzzle that had yet to be solved, one that would take the most brilliant minds of our time to even begin to understand. In the midst of this cosmic expansion, stars continued to shine. They gave birth to new elements, the very elements that would later form the planets and the conditions necessary for life. The heavier elements forged in the hearts of stars, elements like carbon, oxygen, and nitrogen, are the same ones that make up the living beings on Earth. Our existence, our very bodies, are built from stardust, a fact that connects us to the cosmos in ways that few ever truly realize. We are the children of stars, formed from the remnants of ancient supernovae, a tiny part of a vast, ongoing story that stretches back to the birth of the universe itself. Galaxies, in their sprawling majesty, began to cluster together, forming superclusters, vast networks of galaxies bound together by gravity. Our own galaxy, the Milky Way, was just one of countless others in this grand cosmic web. And within the Milky Way, our solar system, a relatively small and insignificant speck in the grand scheme of things, formed around 4.5 billion years ago. A swirling cloud of gas and dust collapsed under gravity's pull, forming the Sun at the center, with the planets, moons, and other celestial bodies coalescing in the disk around it. Earth, our home, was born from this cosmic chaos, a blue oasis in a vast, inhospitable void, an anomaly in the history of the universe. But even as the stars continued their cycle of birth, life, and death, the universe's expansion continued, and the future of the cosmos began to look more uncertain. Over time, the stars would burn out. They would use up their nuclear fuel, their cores collapsing and releasing a final, explosive burst of energy, marking the end of their lives. Some stars would become black holes, regions of space where gravity is so intense that not even light can escape. These black holes would continue to grow, feeding off nearby gas and stars, and perhaps merging with other black holes to form even larger ones. In the far future, as stars grew rarer and galaxies drifted farther apart, the universe would begin to grow cold and dark. The night sky, once filled with the light of countless stars, would eventually fade to black. The once vibrant galaxies, rich with stars and planets, would become mere memories, their stars dying off one by one. The universe would become a place of silence and emptiness, a dark expanse where the echoes of the Big Bang would be the only reminder of the vibrant universe that once was. Yet even as the universe grew dark, there would still be mysteries to uncover. The faintest traces of the Big Bang's afterglow would still be detectable in the cosmic microwave background radiation, a relic from the very beginning of time. Scientists, in their distant future, would still be able to measure the expansion of the universe, perhaps even detect the lingering influence of dark energy, though they may never fully understand its nature. The search for knowledge would continue, even in the cold darkness of the distant future, as curious minds seek answers to the greatest questions of all: where did we come from? How did everything begin? And where is the universe headed? As for the ultimate fate of the universe, that is a question that remains open. Some scientists speculate that the universe will continue to expand forever, growing colder and darker until all the stars burn out and black holes evaporate into nothingness. Others suggest that the universe might eventually reach a point where the expansion slows down, halting at some moment in time, only to reverse and collapse back into a singularity, the very state it was in at the beginning. This Big Crunch theory suggests a cyclical nature to the universe, an eternal cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Yet, there are also other theories, ones that suggest the universe may continue expanding forever, but at an ever-decreasing rate, eventually reaching a point where the cosmos becomes an endless, frozen expanse, filled with nothing but the remnants of a long-forgotten era. No one knows for certain. All we have are the stars, the galaxies, and the deep questions that linger in our minds. And so, as we look out into the infinite depths of space, we are reminded of our place in this grand story, a story that stretches from the beginning of time itself to the farthest reaches of the future. We are but a brief spark in the eternal darkness, a fleeting moment in the vast, unending timeline of the universe. And yet, in that spark, there is wonder, there is beauty, and there is a story that continues to unfold, waiting for those who are curious enough to seek its mysteries. And perhaps, in the end, that is the greatest mystery of all, the fact that we, in our tiny corner of the cosmos, are a part of something so much bigger, so much older, and so much more awe-inspiring than we could ever truly understand. The universe, with all its vastness and complexity, remains an enigma, a riddle that no one, not even the greatest minds of our time, can fully unravel. And maybe that's okay. Perhaps it is the very mystery itself that makes it all so incredible, the fact that there is always more to discover, always more to learn, always more to wonder about. As the stars continue to burn and the galaxies continue to spin, the story of the universe goes on, an endless tale of creation, destruction, and rebirth. It is a story that will never truly end, for as long as there are minds to wonder, and eyes to gaze up at the stars, the mysteries of the cosmos will continue to fascinate, inspire, and remind us of the vastness of it all. And as the universe stretches further into the unknown, the questions continue to evolve. If the stars are burning out and galaxies are drifting farther apart, what will become of the future of life itself? Will there be a time when even the possibility of life becomes a distant memory, scattered across the fabric of a dying universe? As the cosmos cools and fades, there will be those who wonder if any form of life will survive in the endless dark, perhaps hidden in the remnants of stars or inside the heart of the black holes that will one day dominate the void. Could life persist in the shadows of an ever-expanding universe, perhaps in forms we can't even imagine? Some theorists speculate about the possibility of life beyond our understanding, life that might not rely on starlight, or even the familiar elements we know. Could life adapt to the extreme conditions of a universe growing cold and empty, surviving on the faintest energy, or in the deep, mysterious pockets of space? The idea of life in the dark, a life that does not need warmth or sunlight to thrive, is a thought that both chills and fascinates. The possibilities are endless, for the laws of physics and biology as we understand them may not be the final answer in the grand scheme of things. Meanwhile, on the vast scale of the universe, civilizations could rise and fall, their stories perhaps lasting only a fleeting moment in time. If life were to thrive in other parts of the cosmos, how might they view the universe's distant past? Would they understand the Big Bang, the birth of stars, and the inevitable decline of galaxies? Would they have their own theories, their own stories, about the origins of everything? And perhaps in some far-off corner of space, civilizations have already risen and fallen, their ancient ruins now buried under layers of cosmic dust, forgotten by time. Imagine the echoes of these lost cultures, their achievements now as distant as the stars themselves, their knowledge scattered across the universe like whispers in the wind, waiting to be discovered by the curious explorers of some future age. The stars, which have always been our guides, may one day be the same for other travelers, each civilization leaving its own mark on the fabric of space. Time itself may even be a concept that becomes increasingly irrelevant. As the universe grows older, its expansion could lead to a time when the very passage of time itself becomes distorted. In the far future, near the event horizon of a black hole, time may seem to slow down, stretching into eternity for anyone who dares to venture near. At the center of these cosmic phenomena, the laws of physics break down, and what we know about time and space no longer holds true. In those final moments before the universe fades into obscurity, what will the final thoughts be? Will we understand our place in the cosmos? Will we understand the great story of everything that came before us, or will we simply fade away, as a brief flash in the cosmic darkness? Even in the distant future, there may be remnants of what once was. A lonely planet, orbiting the remains of a dying star, could harbor the final vestiges of life, a testament to a time long past, when the universe was filled with light and color. Perhaps intelligent beings, far from Earth, might one day look upon the stars and wonder what happened to all the galaxies that once blazed across the sky. Could they be able to reach out and find the distant echoes of our own civilization, the footprints we left behind in the vastness of space? Or will we be a myth, a forgotten race in the annals of a universe that has moved on? But perhaps there is still hope. Perhaps, in the midst of this vast expansion, new and incredible things are still waiting to be discovered. Could we find new forms of energy that defy our current understanding, pushing the boundaries of what we know and what we think is possible? Could there be realms of existence, hidden dimensions or alternate realities, that lie beyond the grasp of our current perceptions, waiting to be uncovered? The universe, after all, is full of wonders that remain beyond our reach. And maybe, just maybe, we are on the cusp of discovering something that will forever change our understanding of reality itself. One thing is certain, the story of the universe is far from over. Though we may see the end of stars and galaxies in the far future, the story doesn't have to end there. For as long as there is consciousness, as long as there are beings capable of wonder, the universe will continue to be alive with stories. The Big Bang was just the beginning, a small spark that ignited a journey that would span eternity. The universe, in all its mystery and beauty, will forever be a part of us, and we, in turn, will be a part of it. And so, as the stars continue to shine, even if only faintly in the distant future, they will remind us of what once was and what still could be. The galaxies may drift farther apart, and the light may fade, but the universe will always carry within it the traces of everything that has ever existed: the birth of stars, the death of galaxies, the rise and fall of civilizations, and the dreams of those who looked up at the sky and wondered what lay beyond. In the end, whether the universe continues to expand forever, or whether it eventually collapses in on itself, there is one thing we can always be certain of: the story of the cosmos will never truly end. It will always be there, in the stars, in the galaxies, in the very fabric of space and time. It is an eternal tale, one that will unfold for as long as there are eyes to look up at the night sky and hearts to marvel at the vastness of it all. The universe, in all its infinite mystery, is a story that will continue to be told, no matter how far we travel or how deep into the unknown we venture. And as we venture deeper into the future, new possibilities will emerge, each more awe-inspiring than the last. For though the universe may eventually grow cold, dark, and desolate, its journey is far from a simple path to oblivion. Even in its twilight years, the universe may hold secrets yet to be revealed, mysteries still waiting to be uncovered by those brave enough to seek them. Perhaps, in the distant future, advanced civilizations will have harnessed the very forces of nature themselves, gravity, time, and space. Could we one day discover how to traverse vast distances in the blink of an eye, reaching the farthest reaches of the universe, or even beyond? Will we one day learn to bend the fabric of space-time itself, traveling between distant galaxies as easily as we travel across continents today? As our understanding of physics deepens, who can say what incredible technologies we might one day develop? What wonders will our descendants create? Or perhaps, if life persists in some form long after the last stars have died, it will not be physical at all. Could consciousness itself transcend the limits of the physical world, existing in ways we cannot yet comprehend? And what of the stars that have already gone dark? Could there be a time when our descendants, perhaps in some distant future, learn how to revive them? Imagine a future where artificial suns are created to illuminate the cold, empty space where stars once burned, where galaxies and black holes are studied not with telescopes but with the ability to reach out and touch them. Imagine a future where humanity, or another advanced civilization, becomes the stewards of the cosmos, preserving the ancient light of long-dead stars, ensuring that their stories are never lost to the void. As the universe grows colder, the possibility of finding remnants of ancient life might still persist in the deepest reaches of space. What would be left of those who came before us? Perhaps they, too, gazed at the stars and asked the same questions we ask today. Where did we come from? What is our purpose? Did they, like us, hope to leave something behind, something that would outlast them, something that could carry on after they were gone? In a universe that has witnessed the birth and death of countless stars, the fleeting existence of civilizations, and the passing of time itself, it is hard not to wonder what legacy we, too, will leave. Will the echoes of our civilization remain for the distant future to find? Will they uncover our art, our literature, our music, our stories, scattered across distant planets, carried by the remnants of our cosmic journeys? Perhaps the stars we look at tonight will one day fade into darkness, but somewhere, a fragment of us will persist, a memory, a piece of our journey that will forever be etched in the vastness of the universe. The idea of leaving behind a trace, a mark on the universe, is as old as humanity itself. It is the desire to reach beyond our own lives, to ensure that something of our existence will remain long after we are gone. Some might try to encode our history in messages, to send them out into the unknown, hoping that one day, some distant alien civilization might find them and learn about us. Others might send human or machine emissaries to explore the farthest reaches of space, carrying our knowledge with them as they travel farther than any human could ever go. But perhaps, even more profound than any legacy we might leave, is the knowledge that we are part of something greater, a story that stretches back to the very beginning of the universe and continues onward, whether we understand it or not. The universe, in all its grandeur and mystery, is not just a collection of stars and galaxies. It is a living, breathing story, unfolding across time. And we, fleeting as we may be, are part of that story, a chapter in a never-ending book that spans eternity. In the end, perhaps that is the true beauty of the cosmos, that it is infinite, that it continues to evolve, to grow, to change, even when it seems that everything is moving toward an eventual end. The universe's story is one of constant transformation. It is the story of life and death, of creation and destruction, of beginnings and endings. But it is also the story of hope, the hope that, no matter how dark the future may seem, there will always be something new to discover, something to learn, something to wonder about. And as long as there are those who continue to seek the answers to the universe's most profound mysteries, the story will never truly end. As we stand beneath the night sky, looking up at the stars, we are reminded of the vastness of the universe, of the incredible forces that shape its existence. But we are also reminded of our own place within it, of our capacity to question, to dream, to imagine. Our story, however small it may seem, is woven into the grand tapestry of the cosmos. And though our time may be brief, our curiosity, our wonder, and our search for meaning will carry on, just as the universe itself does. So, we continue to gaze upward, searching for answers, dreaming of the unknown, and marveling at the beauty and mystery of a universe that stretches far beyond the limits of our understanding. For the story of the cosmos is endless, and we, as part of it, are a living testament to its infinite possibilities. And as long as we continue to seek, to question, and to explore, the universe will remain a story in progress, forever unfolding, forever expanding, forever alive. And as we keep reaching for the stars, there's something humbling about realizing how small, yet significant, our part is in this grand cosmic tale. We are like the first flicker of a candle, glowing briefly against an infinite night. But the light we cast, the questions we ask, the discoveries we make, the dreams we chase, ripples out into the vastness of time and space. Even as stars die and galaxies drift apart, the essence of our curiosity, our search for meaning, could, in ways we cannot yet comprehend, echo through the fabric of the cosmos. For every action, every thought, every leap of imagination, leaves an imprint on the universe. It may not be visible in the same way as a galaxy or a star, but it's there, woven into the deeper mysteries of existence. Perhaps, in the distant future, when our civilization is nothing but a whisper of history, some future traveler will look back on the work we've done, the discoveries we made, the art we created, the knowledge we left behind, and marvel at the fleeting brilliance of the human race, just as we now marvel at the ancient wonders of past civilizations. Perhaps, in the far-off reaches of time, humanity won't be the only species asking these questions. As the universe continues to evolve, new forms of life may emerge, each with their own story to tell, each searching for the meaning of their existence, just as we have done. These new life forms may look up at the stars, the same stars we once gazed upon, and wonder, who were we? What did we know? How did we see the universe? And perhaps they will find answers in the echoes of our journey, as our civilization's questions reverberate across the cosmos, preserved in the stars, in the relics of long-forgotten missions, and in the wisdom of a species that once dared to dream beyond the confines of Earth. The universe is vast, yes, but it is also deeply interconnected. We see this in the ways galaxies merge, in the way gravity shapes the orbits of planets, and in the way even the most distant stars share a common origin. It is a reminder that nothing exists in isolation, and every part of the universe, from the tiniest particle to the largest galaxy, plays a role in the grand design of things. The same could be true for us. No matter how small our place may seem in the vastness of space, we, too, are part of something greater, contributing our own unique spark to the ongoing story. In the end, perhaps the greatest discovery of all is that the universe, though it may seem indifferent and cold at times, is full of wonder, mystery, and possibility. It offers us an endless canvas on which to paint our questions, our stories, our hopes, and our dreams. Even as we face the inevitable decline of the stars, the universe remains a place of infinite potential, a vast field of possibilities waiting to be explored by those brave enough to venture beyond what they know. As the centuries and millennia pass, as civilizations rise and fall, the universe will continue its eternal dance of creation and destruction. Yet, within this cycle, there will always be new beginnings, new stars born from the ashes of the old, new questions asked, new discoveries made. The universe is not a place of endings, it is a place of constant renewal, where even in the darkest corners, light can still be found, whether it is the faint glow of distant stars, the flicker of curiosity in a new species' eyes, or the eternal dance of atoms and energy that forms the very building blocks of everything. And perhaps, in the end, the greatest mystery of all is not where the universe is going or what its ultimate fate will be. Perhaps the greatest mystery lies in the journey itself, in the pursuit of knowledge, in the endless search for meaning, in the quest to understand not just the stars, but our place among them. That, after all, is what makes the universe so incredibly beautiful, its infinite capacity to surprise, to challenge, and to inspire. So we keep looking up, keep wondering, keep exploring, knowing that no matter how far we travel, no matter how much we learn, there will always be more to discover. The story of the universe will never end, for as long as there are minds to ask questions, hearts to dream, and souls to reach for the stars, the journey will continue. And maybe, just maybe, in that journey, we will find that the universe is not just something to be understood, but something to be embraced. It is a vast, endless mystery, one that we are all part of, whether we know it or not. We are the universe becoming conscious of itself, and as we reach out into the cosmos, we are not just looking for answers, we are becoming part of the story, becoming the very stars we once gazed upon. So, let us continue our voyage, with wonder in our hearts, questions in our minds, and a boundless curiosity that will carry us through the infinite reaches of time and space. The universe is out there, waiting for us to discover its secrets, to unlock its mysteries, and to weave our own story into the grand tapestry of existence. And perhaps, one day, we will understand, the journey itself is the answer, and the story, our story, is just beginning. And so, the journey unfolds, ever onward, through time and space, weaving through the threads of countless possibilities, stretching out like the very fabric of the cosmos itself. It is a journey that calls to us, not with a single destination in mind, but with the promise of endless discovery, endless wonder. Every corner of the universe is filled with untold stories. Stories of stars yet to be born, of galaxies yet to be discovered, of worlds that may harbor life beyond our comprehension. These stories are waiting to be written, waiting for the curious, the brave, the dreamers to find them. In this infinite expanse, we are reminded that our understanding is always limited. No matter how far we travel, how much we learn, there will always be a horizon just beyond our reach. But this isn't a reason for despair. Rather, it is the very thing that fuels the fire of exploration. The unknown is not something to fear, but something to embrace, a challenge to our minds and hearts, a space where creativity and wonder can thrive. Perhaps in this boundless cosmos, we are not alone in our search. Perhaps there are other beings, as curious as we are, gazing at the same stars, contemplating the same mysteries. Somewhere, across the vast stretches of space and time, they may be looking at their own night sky, asking the same questions. Who are we? Why are we here? How did all of this begin? And as we continue to ask these questions, we realize that we are connected, not just to the stars and galaxies, but to each other, to all the seekers across the universe who have ever wondered, ever dreamed. Could it be that in the distant future, civilizations will find each other, not through the direct light of a star, but through the shared echo of our collective journey? Could our thoughts, our dreams, our discoveries, continue to reverberate across space, leaving an imprint that, like the cosmic microwave background radiation, can still be detected by those who come after us? In some distant future, will future explorers find the remnants of our civilizations, perhaps encoded in the very fabric of the universe, and decipher the messages we left behind, not as a single species but as a moment in the story of all life, all intelligence? Or perhaps our mark will be something more subtle, woven into the atoms of distant worlds, the stardust that makes up new planets and new stars, the remnants of our curiosity embedded in the very building blocks of the cosmos. After all, everything we know, everything we are, was once born of the stars. Our thoughts, our questions, our very bodies are made of the same matter that forms the galaxies, the nebulae, and the suns. In this vastness, we begin to understand that we are not separate from the universe. We are part of it. We are the universe experiencing itself, contemplating its own existence, just as the stars contemplate their birth, their life, and their inevitable death. Every life, every question, every moment of wonder is a spark in the ever-expanding fire of the cosmos. We are not just passive observers. We are active participants, shaping the future, writing the story of the universe with each step we take toward the unknown. And as we reach for the stars, as we stretch out into the dark, we realize that our journey is not about the destination. It's about the process, the questioning, the seeking, the learning, and the understanding that comes with every discovery. It is the process of becoming. And just as the universe has always been in a state of becoming, so too are we. we are not static. We are evolving, growing, stretching, learning from the stars, from the earth, from each other. The stars themselves, in their burning, their exploding, their dying, teach us that life, in all its forms, is precious and fleeting. They remind us that every moment counts. Though the stars will fade, though galaxies will collide and scatter, the energy, the matter, the essence of everything that has ever been will live on, transformed, reborn. The same is true for us. Our thoughts, our discoveries, our actions may be brief, but they, too, will be transformed, become part of the ever-flowing river of time, influencing everything that comes after us in ways we may never fully understand. So, as we stand on the precipice of this infinite journey, we take a deep breath, gaze up at the vast sky, and allow ourselves to marvel at the possibilities. There is no end. There is only the journey. And as long as we continue to wonder, to dream, to seek, the universe will continue to unfold before us, like a vast, endless story, filled with chapters yet to be written, pages yet to be turned, and adventures yet to be had. And perhaps, when the stars have all burned out, when the last remnants of the universe have faded into darkness, the story will still continue, not as a light, not as a flame, but as a quiet, infinite whisper, carrying the echoes of everything that ever was. The story of the universe, and of those who lived, and loved, and wondered, will endure, not in the stars themselves, but in the very essence of what it means to seek, to explore, to become. And that, in the end, is what makes the journey worth every moment. For as long as we continue to reach for the stars, the universe will never truly be alone. It will always carry the spark of our curiosity, the light of our questions, and the fire of our dreams. And so the journey stretches onward, into the boundless unknown, with every step forging new paths through the dark fabric of the universe. The vastness may seem overwhelming, but it is also exhilarating. Each new discovery, each new question asked, builds on the last, creating a mosaic of knowledge, a tapestry that spans beyond what we can see, beyond the limits of even our greatest telescopes. The very act of seeking, of looking up at the stars with awe and wonder, is a declaration that we are part of something larger than ourselves, something eternal, something cosmic. The universe will continue to change. Stars will be born, live their incandescent lives, and eventually die in spectacular displays of energy and matter. Some will collapse into black holes, warping space and time itself, while others will burn out and scatter their remnants into the vast emptiness. The planets and moons that orbit them will witness these transformations, each one a silent witness to the great cosmic drama unfolding across billions of years. But even as the stars fade and the galaxies drift farther apart, life, whether it be ours or the potential lives of other beings scattered across the infinite reaches of space, will remain, as long as there is a spark of curiosity, a longing to understand, a desire to explore. In those far-flung corners of space, perhaps there are beings who wonder what lies beyond their own stars, who look out into the vast sea of the universe and ask, "What is the meaning of it all?" And perhaps, just as we look at the stars and wonder about our place in the cosmos, they, too, look at the stars and wonder if someone, somewhere, is doing the same. In some distant future, it's possible that the question, "Where did we come from?" will have been answered. Perhaps the long journey of understanding will have led to revelations so profound that the very fabric of reality will be understood as a single, interconnected entity, an intricate web of energy and matter, stretching across time and space, with every point, every particle, intimately connected to every other. Perhaps we'll find that the boundaries between life and non-life, between consciousness and matter, are far more fluid than we ever imagined. Maybe, as we learn to manipulate the fundamental forces of nature, we'll even come to understand the delicate dance between creation and destruction, birth and death, and how it is all woven together in a cosmic harmony we are just beginning to grasp. What would it be like to live in a time when we finally unravel these mysteries? To walk among the stars, not as isolated beings on a single planet, but as part of a vast, interconnected cosmic community. Could we one day communicate with distant civilizations, perhaps learn from their wisdom, their successes, and their mistakes? What stories would they tell us, and how might they look upon us, tiny, fleeting creatures on a small blue planet in a remote corner of the universe. Yet even as we dream of these futures, we cannot forget the present moment. The stars we see tonight, those we marvel at, have been shining for billions of years, and they may continue to shine long after we are gone. Each one of them carries with it a history, an ancient story of creation, transformation, and eventual death. Some of those stars may already be gone, their light traveling through the void, still reaching us even though their existence has long since ended. And in that light, we find the echo of the past, a reminder that everything we see, everything we know, is part of a story that stretches far beyond our time, a story that will continue long after we are gone. This is the beauty of the universe. It is both vast and intimate, infinite and ever-changing, yet always with us in some way. Each moment of discovery, each spark of insight, is a part of this grand, unending story. It is not just the story of stars and galaxies, black holes and nebulae, but the story of all who have ever wondered about these things, of all who have looked up at the night sky and felt the stirrings of curiosity, the call to explore. And as we continue to seek, to explore, to question, we realize that it's not just the answers that matter, but the very act of asking. It is in the pursuit, in the search for understanding, that we find our connection to the universe. We are not just passive observers, we are active participants in this cosmic narrative. Our questions, our dreams, our hopes, they are woven into the fabric of space and time, creating ripples that will reverberate across eternity. The universe, with all its vastness and mystery, is not something to fear or to shrink from. It is something to embrace, to celebrate. The infinite possibilities it holds are not just for the future but for the present. The adventure of discovery is always happening, in every moment, in every breath, in every glance upward at the stars. And with each passing day, we move closer to understanding not just the universe, but ourselves, our place within it, and the endless potential that lies ahead. For the universe is not just a collection of stars and planets. It is a story that began with the Big Bang and continues to unfold with each passing moment. And as long as there are those who look up and ask, "What's out there?" the story will continue. There will always be new chapters to write, new discoveries to make, and new horizons to explore. And in the end, that is the greatest gift the universe gives us, the chance to be part of something larger than ourselves, to leave our mark on the cosmos, and to continue the endless adventure that is the story of existence. As we press forward into the future, each step we take into the unknown brings us closer to understanding not only the universe but also ourselves. The mysteries of existence are vast, stretching beyond our current reach, but that does not make them any less worth exploring. In every discovery, we uncover a piece of the larger puzzle, a glimpse into the underlying structure of reality, and perhaps, the very nature of consciousness itself. The stars above, each a shining beacon in the darkness, are like guides on this journey. They are the markers of time and space, the silent witnesses to the unfolding of the universe. But their light, though ancient, continues to reach us, offering a reminder that no matter how far we travel or how much time passes, there are always parts of the past still shining through. And in this way, the universe is both a living thing and a record, a memory that persists across the eons, storing within it the stories of everything that has come before. As we reach the farthest edges of space, we may one day come to a place where the light of our stars no longer reaches, where the last whispers of energy have faded into the darkness. But even then, the universe will not be silent. The echoes of our existence, of all the lives lived, all the stars that burned, and all the questions asked, will linger in the cosmic background radiation, in the very structure of spacetime itself. Perhaps, like the remnants of long-dead stars, the essence of our curiosity will continue to radiate out into the infinite void, a silent testament to the beauty of our fleeting, yet profound, existence. In the grand expanse of space, it can sometimes feel as though we are insignificant, like a single grain of sand on a vast shore. Yet, in the vastness of the cosmos, we find meaning not in our size but in our ability to question, to wonder, to explore. It is not the scope of our journey that defines us, but the courage to embark on it, to face the unknown, and to embrace the mystery. The universe is a reflection of our own potential, endless, ever-evolving, filled with untapped possibilities, and waiting to be explored. As we look into the future, we may begin to see a new kind of exploration unfold, not just through the telescopes and spacecraft that have taken us to distant planets and moons, but through the very way we understand ourselves. The more we learn about the cosmos, the more we begin to recognize the interconnection between all things, the way the smallest particle is connected to the grandest galaxy, how the same laws of physics govern both the tiniest atom and the largest star. We are, in many ways, mirrors of the universe. What we see out there is reflected in the way we see ourselves, and the questions we ask about the stars are often the same questions we ask about the nature of our own existence. In time, perhaps we will find that the answers to the greatest mysteries of the universe are not only scientific but philosophical. We might come to realize that the pursuit of knowledge is not just about finding facts and solving equations, but about understanding the deeper truths that connect us all. The story of the universe is also the story of consciousness, the story of awareness, of discovery, of learning and evolving. Perhaps, as we advance in our understanding, we will come to recognize that the true nature of the universe is not something external to us, but something within us, something that exists in the very fabric of our being. As we push the boundaries of our knowledge and venture deeper into the mysteries of the cosmos, we may discover that the very forces that govern the stars also govern our thoughts and actions. The same energy that fuels the birth of galaxies may also be the spark of creativity and curiosity within us. And if that is true, then perhaps we are more connected to the universe than we ever imagined. Perhaps our thoughts, our dreams, our desires, are not separate from the vast cosmos but are part of the cosmic dance itself. In this light, the universe is not just a place to explore, it is something to be understood, something to be embraced. It is a living, breathing entity, full of energy and potential, and we, as conscious beings, are part of that energy, part of that unfolding process. We are not isolated beings lost in the vastness of space. We are an integral part of the story, and our search for meaning, for answers, is as much a part of the universe as the stars themselves. Perhaps, in the end, the universe will reveal that the most profound truth of all is that it is not the destination that matters, but the journey itself. It is the questions we ask, the discoveries we make, and the growth we experience along the way that give life to the cosmos. As long as we continue to wonder, to explore, and to seek, the universe will continue to unfold before us, revealing its mysteries one by one, never truly ending, always expanding. And when, at last, we reach the furthest edge of knowledge, when we have answered the greatest questions and solved the deepest mysteries, we will realize that the story never truly ends. It evolves, it shifts, it transforms, and with each new chapter, there will always be more to discover. The universe is infinite not just in its size, but in its potential. And in that potential, we will always find something new to marvel at, something new to learn, and something new to inspire the next generation of dreamers and explorers to continue the journey. For as long as there are stars in the sky, as long as there are minds to question and hearts to dream, the story of the universe will continue. And in that infinite story, we are but a single spark, burning brightly for a moment in time, yet leaving behind an imprint that will last for eons. And in that eternal story, we, the spark of the moment, continue to blaze a path through the cosmos, never fully understanding the true scope of our impact, but still knowing that we are part of something vast, something timeless. We might never fully grasp the infinite scale of existence, but it is in our pursuit of understanding, in the way we push the limits of what is known, that we contribute to the ever-expanding story of the universe. As our technology advances and our reach into space grows, we may begin to see not just the stars, but the very fabric of the universe itself, its dark energy, its quantum intricacies, and the deeper, more mysterious forces at play. Perhaps, one day, we will develop the means to travel beyond the realms of our solar system, to explore new worlds that exist outside the boundaries of our current imagination. And as we venture into these unknown territories, we will find new puzzles, new mysteries, each one more fascinating than the last. Yet, Even in the face of these grand discoveries, it is likely that the most profound questions will remain unchanged. Why are we here? What is the meaning of it all? These questions are not simply obstacles to be solved, but the very essence of what drives us forward. They push us to grow, to explore, to understand. The answers may not come easily, and perhaps they will never come at all in the way we expect. But it is in the asking, in the seeking, that we find meaning. Our journey through the cosmos is not merely a quest for knowledge, it's a journey of transformation. As we reach out into the universe itself reaches into us, expanding our consciousness and broadening our sense of connection. We are, in a sense, evolving with the very cosmos we explore. The stars are not distant and cold, they are intimate parts of a vast and interconnected whole, and so are we. Our discoveries do not just change our understanding of the universe, they change us. They shape the way we see ourselves, our place in the world, and our relationship to everything that surrounds us. Perhaps, in the future, we will discover that the universe is not just a mechanical system of stars and planets, but a living, breathing entity, a vast, interconnected organism that thrives through the very forces of creation and destruction, growth and decay. And if the universe is indeed alive, perhaps it is through our consciousness, our awareness, that it becomes truly aware of itself. As we explore, we do not just uncover the secrets of the cosmos, we participate in its unfolding, its becoming. As time passes, we may look back on these early days of exploration, the days when we first looked up at the stars, not fully understanding what we saw, but feeling that sense of wonder, that drive to know more. In those moments, we began a journey not just across space, but into the very heart of existence. Each step we take, each discovery we make, is a new chapter in the great cosmic story, a story that may never have a definitive end, but which will always have something new to offer, something new to explore. And as we continue this journey, we will find that the universe is not a place of isolation but of connection. Every star, every galaxy, every planet, every particle of dust is part of a vast, intricate web, and we, too, are part of that web. Our existence is not separate from the cosmos, it is a reflection of it. We are made of the same stardust, shaped by the same forces, and bound by the same laws. What happens in one corner of the universe affects us all, whether we realize it or not. So, as we venture deeper into the mysteries of space, we are not just looking outward, but inward as well. The more we discover about the universe, the more we discover about ourselves. The boundaries between the self and the other begin to blur, as we realize that we are not just observers of the cosmos, but participants in it. Every question we ask, every exploration we undertake, is an act of connection, connecting not just to the stars, but to each other, to the past, and to the future. Perhaps, in the end, the most profound realization will be that we are not alone, not just in the sense of extraterrestrial life, but in the deeper, more meaningful sense. We are part of a collective journey, a shared experience that spans across time, space, and consciousness. The story of the universe is the story of all who seek, all who wonder, all who dream. And in that story, each of us has a role to play, each of us contributes to the unfolding of the cosmic narrative. When the stars that have guided us for eons finally burn out, when the galaxies that we've come to understand as our cosmic neighbors have drifted apart, the story will still go on. The universe may change in ways we cannot yet imagine, but the spark of curiosity, of exploration, of wonder, will remain. And perhaps, in the quiet darkness that follows the last light of the stars, it will be that spark, the spark of human curiosity, that carries the story forward, continuing the eternal dance of creation and discovery. In this way, the universe becomes both a mirror and a guide. It reflects our deepest questions, our highest aspirations, our most profound mysteries. And as we continue to look outward, as we continue to dream, we are not just seeking answers, we are becoming part of the story itself. The journey never truly ends, because as long as there are those who seek, the story will continue, expanding ever outward, ever inward, into infinity. And maybe, just maybe, the greatest discovery we will make is that we are not simply exploring the cosmos, We are, in fact, the cosmos exploring itself. As the story of the cosmos unfolds, layer by layer, with every question answered revealing more questions, we begin to see the endless loop that binds everything together. Each discovery leads us further along the path, but it's not just the discoveries themselves that shape us. It's the process, the constant unraveling, the persistence of curiosity, the refusal to settle for easy answers. The universe, in all its vastness and mystery, mirrors this same endless cycle of birth and rebirth, of expansion and contraction, of chaos and order. The journey, it seems, is never truly linear, but a spiraling dance, where every step forward is both a discovery and a return to something ancient, something eternal. As we venture deeper into space, as we explore new worlds and stretch the boundaries of our knowledge, we are also uncovering the deepest truths about existence itself. What is time? What is consciousness? What is reality? These questions may seem like lofty philosophical musings, but perhaps they are the very foundation of the universe, the underlying principles upon which all things are built. In seeking to understand the stars, we are ultimately seeking to understand the forces that govern our own lives, the very forces that make us who we are. Imagine a future where we've unlocked the mysteries of dark energy and dark matter, where we can peer into the heart of a black hole and perhaps even step across the threshold of a wormhole. In this future, we might no longer be limited by the constraints of space and time, able to traverse the cosmos as easily as we now travel across our own planet. The limitations that once seemed insurmountable may become mere stepping stones to new, unimaginable realms. Yet, even in the face of such profound advancements, it's likely that the most important discoveries will not be technical, but existential. They will not be about finding new frontiers, but about discovering what it means to exist in such an infinite, interconnected, and evolving universe. At some point, we may reach a deeper understanding of consciousness itself, how it arises, how it connects to the physical world, and what happens to it when we pass beyond the physical realm. Is there a deeper layer of awareness, one that binds us not just to each other, but to the cosmos? Perhaps consciousness is not confined to the brain, but is a universal force, stretching across time and space. If this is true, then each one of us is not only a part of the cosmos but an active participant in its unfolding, a small reflection of the larger consciousness of the universe. Just as a single star contributes to the energy of a galaxy, so too does each conscious being contribute to the larger cosmic awareness. In this grand dance, we may come to realize that the boundaries we once saw between ourselves and the universe were mere illusions. There is no us and them, no division between life and non-life, between the stars and the earth, between the living and the dead. Everything is interconnected, part of the same grand symphony, and every action, no matter how small, ripples outward, touching everything around it. We are not isolated islands, but waves in an ocean of existence, constantly flowing and shifting, affecting and being affected by everything we encounter. Even as we explore distant galaxies and uncover the secrets of black holes and quantum mechanics, it's possible that we will discover something even more profound, that the most important journey is not one that takes us outward into the universe, but inward, into the very depths of our own consciousness. For in the end, the universe is not just a place to explore, it is a mirror of our own inner world, a reflection of our thoughts, our desires, our fears, and our dreams. The more we explore the cosmos, the more we learn about the deepest corners of our own being. In time, we may find that the answers to the biggest questions, what is the meaning of life? Why do we exist? Are not found in the distant reaches of space, but in the silence within. Perhaps the universe is not just an external reality, but a state of mind, a consciousness that encompasses all things. And as we come to understand this, we may realize that the story of the universe is not a story of things that happen outside of us, but a story that is unfolding within us, constantly shaping and reshaping who we are. The stars, the galaxies, the nebulae, these are not just objects in the sky. They are symbols of our potential, our creativity, our drive to understand and to create meaning. They remind us that, just as the universe is ever expanding, so too is our potential for growth. We are not static beings, but dynamic, evolving creatures, forever reaching outward, ever hungry for knowledge and understanding. The very act of questioning, of seeking, is an expression of the creative force that shapes the cosmos. As we continue to explore, as we continue to push the boundaries of what is possible, we will undoubtedly encounter new challenges, new obstacles, new mysteries. But rather than seeing these as setbacks, we may come to understand them as integral parts of the journey, the necessary tensions that drive us forward, that force us to evolve, to grow, to think in new ways. Just as a star is born from the collapse of gas and dust, so too is our understanding of the universe born from the challenges we face and the questions we ask. Perhaps, in the end, the most profound discovery will be the realization that we are not merely explorers of the universe, but co-creators of it. Our consciousness, our curiosity, our search for meaning, these are not separate from the cosmos. They are part of the very fabric of its existence. The universe is not something, out there, to be discovered. It is something that is within us, something we are constantly co-creating as we continue to ask questions, to seek answers, and to explore. And in this infinite journey, there is no true end. There is only an ever-deepening understanding, an ever-expanding horizon, an endless dance of creation and discovery. As long as we remain curious, as long as we continue to reach for the stars, the story will never stop unfolding. It will evolve, transform, and grow, just as we do. And perhaps that is the most beautiful part of it all. The universe is not a static thing, but a living, breathing story, constantly in motion, constantly changing. It is a story that began with the Big Bang and continues to this very moment, a story that will continue long after we are gone. A story that is never finished, because there is always more to discover, more to learn, and more to become. The universe is a journey, and it is one that will never truly end, as long as there are beings who look up at the stars and ask, "What's next?" As long as that question echoes in the minds of those who gaze upward, the journey continues, and with each passing moment, the universe reveals new layers of its complexity. Each discovery, each new theory, opens up even more avenues for exploration, a labyrinth with infinite pathways, each more fascinating than the last. And as we move through these winding corridors of knowledge, we might come to realize that every discovery is not just an understanding of the external world but a reflection of the deeper mysteries within us. Perhaps the most profound truth is that the exploration of the cosmos is, in some ways, an exploration of the self. The stars we reach for, the galaxies we study, the distant worlds we dream of are not just objects of curiosity. They are mirrors, revealing not just the nature of the universe but the nature of consciousness itself. The questions we ask about the universe, about time, space, and existence, are really the same questions we ask about our own existence, about the meaning of our lives and our place in the cosmos. The pursuit of knowledge is not a journey that leads us away from ourselves but one that leads us deeper into understanding who we truly are. Imagine, for a moment, the day when humanity finally unravels the deepest mysteries of the universe, the nature of dark matter, the unification of the forces of physics, the understanding of quantum entanglement at a scale we can hardly comprehend. It would be a monumental achievement, a moment when the walls between the known and the unknown fall away, revealing the ultimate truths that bind the universe together. But even then, it is likely that the most profound question will remain: why? Why does the universe exist in the first place? Why is there something rather than nothing? Why do we, as conscious beings, seek meaning in a cosmos that seems so indifferent to our existence? Perhaps it is in the very asking of these questions that we discover our true purpose, that the act of seeking, of exploring, is itself the key to understanding the universe. In seeking, we connect not only with the cosmos but with each other, with every person who has ever looked up at the stars and wondered. It is in this shared curiosity, this collective yearning to know, that we find our common humanity. We are not just individuals drifting in a vast expanse. We are part of a larger story, a story written by the questions we ask and the answers we seek. The universe, in all its vastness and mystery, is not a cold, distant place. It is alive with possibility, brimming with potential, and it waits for us to reach out, to learn, to grow. In a way, the universe has been waiting for us all along. The stars, the galaxies, the nebulae, they are not just distant objects to be observed, but partners in this grand experiment, this unfolding journey of discovery. And as we continue to venture further into the unknown, we will realize that we are not separate from the cosmos. We are part of it. We are, in essence, the universe becoming conscious of itself, a small but vital spark in the vast sea of existence. As we venture out into the stars, exploring new planets, new solar systems, and perhaps even new galaxies, we may begin to see that the universe is not just a collection of objects, but a vast, interconnected web of energy and information. Every star, every planet, every particle is connected in ways that we are only beginning to understand. Just as the atoms in our bodies were forged in the hearts of ancient stars, so too are we part of the very fabric of the cosmos, bound by the same fundamental forces that govern the entire universe. In this realization, we may find a sense of unity, a sense of belonging to something greater than ourselves. It's easy to feel small in the face of the infinite universe, but when we understand that we are made of the same stardust, that we share the same fundamental building blocks as the stars, the planets, and the galaxies, we realize that we are part of a much larger and grander story. And it is a story that is still being written, with every discovery, every question, every answer. The future of exploration is not limited to just the physical realms of space. It also extends to the depths of our own minds and hearts. As we learn more about the universe, we may come to understand that the true journey is not just one of scientific discovery, but one of spiritual and emotional growth as well. The more we explore the cosmos, the more we explore ourselves. The answers we find are not just about the stars, they are about us, about what it means to be alive, to be conscious, to be part of this vast and beautiful universe. As we continue to journey into the stars, it is likely that we will encounter other civilizations, other forms of life, perhaps even other beings who have pondered the same questions that we have. What if, in our exploration, we discover that we are not alone in the universe, that we share this journey with others who, like us, are seeking meaning and understanding? How will we communicate with them, share our discoveries, and learn from one another? These questions may seem far off, but they are part of the same dream, the same drive that pushes us ever onward, ever outward. And even if we never encounter other intelligent life, the journey itself will have been worth it. The pursuit of knowledge, the quest to understand the universe, is a journey that enriches us, that broadens our perspective and deepens our connection to the cosmos. As we explore the stars, we are also exploring the very nature of existence, and in doing so, we uncover new layers of meaning that shape our lives in ways we cannot yet fully comprehend. As the universe continues to expand, so too will our understanding of it. The future of exploration is limitless, bound only by the constraints of our imagination and the reach of our curiosity. With each discovery, we break down the walls that separate us from the infinite, and with each step, we move closer to understanding not just the universe but our place within it. And so, the journey continues, an endless cycle of discovery and wonder, of questioning and seeking, of learning and evolving. For as long as we continue to look up at the stars with wonder in our eyes, the story of the universe will never end. It will continue to unfold before us, a story without end, because in the end, the universe itself is the greatest question of all. And as we continue this grand journey, the cosmos itself may begin to feel like a living, breathing entity, constantly shifting and evolving alongside us. What was once seen as a vast, impersonal expanse of stars and planets begins to reveal its true nature, a universe filled with mystery and beauty, where every corner holds a story, a lesson, or a spark of creation waiting to be discovered. Each planet we find, each star we study, each galaxy we uncover is not just an object in space, it is a chapter in a larger narrative, one that stretches across eons and intertwines with the story of life itself. This journey, in its deepest sense, may not be about finding answers so much as it is about discovering the deeper truths hidden within the questions. For every time we unlock a mystery, we are confronted with the realization that the universe is far more complex than we ever imagined. And in that complexity, we find not just awe, but a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. There are no isolated events, no disconnected forces. The universe is a web, a network of cause and effect, of energy and matter, each influencing the other in ways we are only beginning to grasp. As we step further into the unknown, we may encounter phenomena that defy our understanding, forces of nature so profound that they blur the line between science and philosophy, between the material and the spiritual. Black holes, with their infinite density and mysterious event horizons, may offer more than just a scientific curiosity. They could serve as metaphors for the unknown realms of the human experience, symbolizing the boundaries of what we can comprehend and what lies beyond. And in this exploration, we may start to wonder, is it possible that the universe itself is alive in ways we have not yet imagined? Could the stars, the galaxies, and even the laws of physics be part of a greater consciousness, a cosmic mind that spans across time and space? If everything is connected, if everything is made of the same fundamental particles and forces, could there be a deeper awareness at play, guiding the unfolding of the cosmos, much like the human mind shapes the world around it? Perhaps we are not simply observers of the universe but active participants in its unfolding, co-creators of the reality we experience. What if the universe is not a passive backdrop to our lives, but an active partner in our search for meaning and understanding? Just as our thoughts shape our reality, perhaps the very act of exploring the stars, of reaching out into the unknown, contributes to the ongoing evolution of the cosmos itself. The universe, in this sense, might be as much about consciousness as it is about matter, a vast expanse where the boundaries between the two blur and merge. As we continue to explore, to push the frontiers of knowledge, we may begin to see that the questions we ask are not just reflections of our curiosity, they are also a reflection of our deepest desires, our longing to understand the very nature of existence. The universe responds to the questions we pose, just as our thoughts shape the world around us. The more we learn, the more we realize that the answers we seek are not external to us but are rooted deep within our own consciousness, waiting to be uncovered. The process of discovery, then, is not just about uncovering the secrets of the universe. It is about uncovering the secrets of our own being. In this journey, there is no true destination, no final answer that will satisfy every question. Instead, there is only the journey itself, the continuous unfolding of the universe and the continuous evolution of our understanding. Just as the universe itself is expanding, so too is our consciousness, growing with each new insight, each new discovery. The story of the universe is not one of a final endpoint, but of constant evolution, a never-ending dance of creation and understanding. And as we venture into the future, into the great unknown, we may find that the greatest mysteries are not out there in the distant reaches of space, but within ourselves. For in exploring the cosmos, we are exploring the very essence of what it means to be human, to be conscious, to be alive, to be part of something far greater than ourselves. The stars may guide us, but it is our own curiosity, our own yearning for meaning, that drives us forward. And as long as that drive exists, the story of the universe will continue, unfolding with every question we ask, with every discovery we make. In the end, the universe may reveal to us that it is not a distant, cold, and personal place, but a vast and beautiful reflection of the human spirit, a spirit that reaches out, ever curious, ever seeking, ever expanding. And as we continue to explore the stars, we will realize that we are not just discovering the universe, we are discovering ourselves. And in that discovery, we will come to understand that the universe, in all its infinite complexity, is not separate from us. We are the universe, and the universe is us, forever intertwined, forever expanding, forever unfolding. And so, as the stars continue to burn in the sky, as the galaxies continue their slow dance across the cosmos, the journey will never cease. The quest for knowledge, for understanding, will continue to propel us forward, across time and space, into the infinite. The universe is vast, yes, but it is also deeply personal. It is a story written not in the stars alone, but in the hearts and minds of those who dare to dream, who dare to ask the questions, and who dare to believe that there is more to existence than meets the eye. And as long as that spark of curiosity remains alive within us, the journey will never end. It will always continue, always expand, always search for the next horizon. Because the universe, much like the human spirit, has no end. It is infinite, both in its reach and in its potential. And we are just beginning to understand what that truly means. So we journey onward, not as isolated specks in a sea of stars, but as part of a vast continuum of energy, memory, and purpose. With each heartbeat and breath, we mirror the rhythm of the cosmos itself, the expansion, the contraction, the silence, the bursts of brilliance. Every thought we have, every dream we dream, is like a ripple on the surface of an endless ocean, echoing outward into the great unknown. And maybe, just maybe, the universe listens. Somewhere, light from distant stars travels through the void, carrying the memory of events that happened billions of years ago. When that light finally reaches our eyes, we're not just seeing the past, we're experiencing it. It's a reminder that time, like space, is not a rigid line but something far more fluid. A moment here can stretch across centuries there. A whisper on Earth might be a thunderclap across the stars. Our perception, limited though it may seem, is still capable of touching the infinite. This is the quiet, beautiful paradox of existence, that within every ordinary life lies access to the extraordinary. That you, lying beneath a night sky or drifting into sleep to the sound of a gentle story, are part of something that began before time and will continue long after. The atoms in your bones were born in ancient stars. The water in your body may have cycled through comets or frozen moons. You are not merely in the universe, you are the universe, in conscious form, observing itself, reflecting on itself, wondering, dreaming, becoming. And while science will continue to map galaxies, analyze radiation, and unlock particles smaller than we ever imagined, there will always be a place for wonder. For lying still beneath the stars and simply feeling the enormity of it all. For imagining what lies beyond the edge of the observable, what dreams might be forming in distant nebulae, what stories are being written in the light of alien suns. Maybe there are beings on some faraway world doing the same, gazing skyward, trying to understand the same questions, writing stories of their own. Maybe their myths and theories parallel ours in strange and beautiful ways. Or maybe their thoughts and perceptions are entirely different, revealing perspectives we cannot yet fathom. Either way, the act of wondering binds us. And wonder is something that defies distance, defies time. A child on Earth marveling at Saturn's rings is connected, in a subtle and profound way, to the engineers who sent probes there, to the astronomers who named the planet, to the ancient stargazers who first noticed its glow. This chain of curiosity, stretching back millennia, is what fuels our journey. It's what reminds us that knowledge is never owned, only shared, passed like a torch, generation to generation. As you listen to this story, drifting slowly toward sleep, imagine yourself aboard a silent vessel coasting between stars. Outside your window, nebulae swirl like colored silk, and ancient starlight filters through vast clouds of gas. There is no urgency, no need to arrive. Just the quiet, steady movement through something endless and welcoming. You are weightless, timeless, a presence moving through a living sky. And in that place, calm, still, and endless, you may begin to understand a deeper truth, that the universe is not just a place to be explored, but a feeling. A vastness that wraps around you like a blanket, that holds you gently in the quiet spaces between thoughts. It is not cold or distant. It is intimate. It is near. It is within. Even now, as planets spin and galaxies collide, as light travels and dark matter shapes the unseen, you are a part of it. Every pulse of your heart echoes across time, every breath a testament to billions of years of cosmic alchemy. You are not alone, and you never were. From the first spark of the Big Bang to this very moment, everything has led here. To you, lying quietly, listening to the sound of the stars. And still the journey continues. Quietly. Softly. Always. In that stillness, where your mind floats between waking and dreaming, You can almost hear the soft hum of the universe, the rhythm of galaxies spinning, stars burning, black holes pulling. It's as if the cosmos is singing a lullaby, and the notes are carried on the light that reaches us, echoing across eons. Each flicker of a distant star is a whisper from the past, a voice calling from a place you can never quite reach. But still, you listen, because you know that the story is ongoing. That there is something profound in this moment of quiet. That, even in the depths of sleep, you are still part of the infinite. As you drift deeper into the embrace of this cosmic lullaby, imagine yourself as part of the great unfolding of the universe, each particle of your body vibrating in tune with the stars, each breath you take syncing with the pulse of the galaxies. It's not just a connection in the abstract, but a living, breathing reality. You, in this very moment, are as much a part of this universe as the stars in the sky, the planets that orbit them, the nebulae that swirl with the birth of new suns. Perhaps the beauty of the universe is not in its vastness, but in its delicate, unbroken unity. From the tiniest atoms to the largest galaxies, everything is woven together in a web of energy and matter, each piece playing its part. The earth beneath you is just one thread in this enormous tapestry, but it's a thread that carries the weight of billions of years, of countless lives, of moments both profound and fleeting. The universe isn't just vast, it's personal. Every dream you have is somehow an echo of its ancient song. Every question you ask about life, about meaning, is mirrored in the stars. You might not be able to grasp the entirety of it all, but that doesn't mean it's not part of you, woven into the very fabric of your being. In every heartbeat, in every thought, you are walking the same path as the universe, and it is walking with you. In the quiet spaces between each breath, the stars are still shining, galaxies still spinning, and new worlds are being born. Time flows differently there, as it does within you. What seems like an endless night, a never-ending search for answers, is also a moment of discovery. It is the journey itself that holds meaning, the experience of seeking and becoming. Maybe that's why, even in sleep, you can feel the vastness of it all. The dreams you dream are not just stories your mind weaves while you rest. They are echoes from the stars themselves. They are fragments of the universe whispering through your consciousness, reminding you that you are both a part of it and a witness to it. The night sky above, with its endless stars, is as much a part of your soul as it is of the cosmos, and as you sleep, you merge with it in a quiet, peaceful surrender. And as the journey continues, as the stars burn on and galaxies spin through the dark expanse, you can rest assured that it will always be so. There will always be more to discover, more to understand, more mysteries to unravel. But perhaps, as you lie here, drifting peacefully, you realize that the greatest mystery of all may not be out there in the stars, it may be within you, in the very act of dreaming, of reaching for something greater than yourself, and of becoming part of this ever-unfolding story. You are the story. You are the question and the answer, the dreamer and the dream. And even as you sleep, the universe continues, a never-ending, timeless dance. And so, as you drift deeper into the fabric of this endless night, the universe continues its quiet dance around you, with every star and every distant galaxy playing its part in the symphony of existence. You, in your stillness, are both the observer and the observed, a part of the grand story, yet a mystery in your own right. The distance between you and the stars seems to vanish as you realize that the very essence of them is contained within you. The spark of creation, the force that set the universe into motion, pulses through your veins, flowing with each breath you take. Every moment that passes, though imperceptible in its individual detail, is a brushstroke in the painting of infinity. You, as a small and quiet part of it, are also contributing to this masterpiece, your thoughts, your dreams, your questions weaving themselves into the infinite tapestry. Perhaps the most beautiful part of it all is that it doesn't matter whether you understand every piece. The very act of existing, of being, is a contribution. Every beat of your heart resonates in harmony with the stars. In this stillness, you are no longer bound by time. There is no past, no future, only the moment, suspended in the vastness of the cosmos. The past is written in the stars themselves, in the light that has traveled across time and space to reach you. The future, too, is already unfolding, waiting to be revealed in the endless loop of creation and destruction, of beginnings and endings, all interwoven in an eternal cycle. And right now, in this moment, you are a part of that cycle. Perhaps this is the greatest truth, that the universe is not a cold, indifferent void, but a living, breathing entity that holds space for every question, every hope, every dream. Each discovery you make, no matter how small or large, is a thread woven into the endless pattern of existence. Each new idea, each spark of inspiration, is a part of the eternal unfolding. And as you continue to drift through this quiet space, no longer bound by the constraints of time, you begin to sense that you are not alone. Though your body may rest here, in this moment, your spirit, your very essence, is wandering the far reaches of space. You are not separate from the stars or the galaxies or the dark matter that binds it all together. You are a reflection of the vastness, a mirror of the cosmic dance, with every heartbeat echoing through the universe like a quiet ripple in a boundless sea. Your dreams are no longer just fleeting thoughts or fantasies. They are pieces of a greater reality, fragments of the universe's own dream. As you sleep, you dream not just of worlds within your mind, but of worlds that exist beyond, in the vast, uncharted spaces of the cosmos. The line between the dreamer and the dream becomes ever thinner, as you merge with the very fabric of existence, floating among the stars. And in this moment, perhaps, you begin to realize that the universe, in all its infinite complexity, is as much a part of you as you are a part of it. The stars don't simply exist out there, they exist within you. Their light, their energy, their fire, are all a part of your being. You are not just a visitor to the cosmos, you are woven into its very heart. The universe and you are one, dancing together in a beautiful, eternal rhythm. In the silence of the night, as you continue to drift, you feel a sense of peace, a quiet knowing that this journey, this quest for meaning and understanding, is never truly about the destination. It is about the journey itself, the exploration, the discovery, the connection. The answers may not always be clear, but the very act of seeking is its own reward. The questions themselves, the curiosity that drives you, are the stars that guide you. And so, as you close your eyes and surrender to the soft pull of sleep, know that you are still moving through the cosmos. You are still part of the great unfolding, still a traveler in the vast and beautiful universe. And when you awaken, you will remember, the stars are still with you. They are always there, whispering their secrets, telling their stories, waiting for you to listen, waiting for you to wonder. For the journey never ends. The universe, like the dreams you carry, is infinite. And as long as you continue to seek, to dream, to explore, you will always be a part of its timeless, ever-expanding story. And so, as you drift even further into the embrace of this cosmic sleep, you come to realize that the very act of dreaming is an extension of the universe itself, another way for the cosmos to unfold, another thread in the endless weave of time and space. Dreams are not separate from the world you wake up to, they are simply another layer of the same story, unfolding in a different form, a reflection of the deeper currents of the universe that lie beyond what we can see or understand with our waking minds. As you sleep, you float through the dreamscape, and the boundaries between the stars and your thoughts blur even further. The quiet hum of the cosmos, the same hum you felt earlier, becomes more distinct, like a lullaby sung just for you. It's not a sound you hear with your ears, but a resonance felt deep within your being. Every part of your soul, every spark of consciousness, vibrates in sync with the ancient pulse of the universe. In your dreams, you might find yourself walking among distant worlds, visiting planets that are nothing like Earth, but familiar in ways you can't quite explain. The sky is different here, perhaps, but the stars remain the same, twinkling softly, like old friends waiting for you to notice them. You explore strange landscapes, feeling both awe and comfort, as though you are discovering forgotten memories, as if you have been here before and will return again. You know, somehow, that these dreams are not just figments of your mind, but a kind of communication, a bridge between what you know and what you do not yet understand. Each dream is a piece of the cosmic puzzle, a tiny fragment of a larger truth waiting to be uncovered. The dreamscapes might shift and change, but there is a constant, deep undercurrent, an unspoken knowledge, that you are a part of something infinite, something boundless. The stars are not just up there, far beyond your reach. They are within you, pulsing through your veins, resting in the deepest corners of your mind. In the silence of your sleep, you are connected to them, and they to you. Perhaps you dream of distant civilizations, living in harmony with the cosmos, understanding the intricate dance between space, time, and consciousness. Their lives are full of wonder, just as yours is, full of searching and seeking, always looking to the stars for answers. But what if, in some far-off future, you are the one to uncover these secrets? What if your discoveries, your understanding, will help to expand the collective consciousness of the universe itself, just as the ancients once did, looking up at the stars and wondering? The possibilities are endless, and in the dream world, time has no hold. Past, present, future, all intertwine, each moment existing simultaneously, like a never-ending tapestry. You begin to understand that the universe is not a series of isolated events, but a continuous flow, a constant unfolding where all things are interwoven, interconnected. Each action you take, each thought you think, sends ripples out into the infinite, affecting things you may never see, never fully understand, but they are there, just as you are. And even now, as you float deeper into this slumber, you begin to realize that you are not just an observer in this grand story. You are a creator too. With every breath, every dream, you are adding your own verse to the eternal song of existence. The universe, ever expanding, ever evolving, is not just a passive backdrop. It is an active participant in this journey. It grows with you, just as you grow with it. The stars, the planets, the galaxies, they are not just distant, lifeless objects in the void. They are alive, too, in their own way. They have stories to tell, histories to share, mysteries to reveal. The more you learn, the more you realize how much there is still to discover. Every answer is just the beginning of another question, every insight the gateway to another realm of understanding. And in this moment of sleep, you are connected to all of it. Every star, every atom, every pulse of light, and every ripple of energy that flows through the vast expanse of space is part of you, just as you are part of it. The lines between you and the universe dissolve, and you realize that perhaps the greatest truth of all is that the universe is not something out there, it is you. You are not separate from it. You are the universe, conscious of itself, experiencing itself. The same energy that created the stars, the same forces that shaped the galaxies, flow through you. Every thought, every dream, is a small piece of the cosmic puzzle being rearranged, one moment at a time. You are, in essence, the universe remembering itself, waking up to its own existence. And as you float deeper into this peaceful sleep, you realize there is no need to search for meaning outside yourself. The answers are already within you. The questions themselves are part of the journey. The beauty of it all is in the seeking, in the wondering, in the exploration. And as long as you continue to look up at the stars, to dream, to reach, to wonder, the universe will continue to reveal its secrets, one by one, unfolding for you like a never-ending story. For the journey, like the universe itself, has no end. And with every dream you have, with every thought that passes through your mind, you are adding your voice to the song of existence, forever part of this infinite, eternal cosmic dance. And so, as you sleep, you rest knowing that you are, and always will be, a part of the stars. And in the vast, quiet expanse of the universe, there is no greater peace than that. And so the silence deepens. You're floating now, not just through space but through time itself, cradled gently in the folds of eternity. There is no rush here. No destination. Just this endless, slow drift across the cosmic sea, as stars shimmer softly around you like embers in the dark. You don't need to understand where you're going, because somehow, you already know you're exactly where you need to be. Time begins to feel like a memory, soft around the edges. Perhaps it never was a straight line. Maybe it's a spiral, winding gently around your mind, wrapping the past, the now, and the possible futures together like strands of starlight. In this place, there are no clocks. No hours. Only moments. Each one stretching, breathing, unfolding like petals in a flower made not of matter, but of experience, of presence. You sense it, more than see it, the great pulse of the universe. A rhythm deeper than sound, older than words. It moves through galaxies, through nebulae, through the spaces between atoms. It moves through you. A quiet, slow heartbeat. Not yours, not separate. Just the heartbeat, belonging to all things. Every star, every planet, every dream. And here, in the weightless dark, surrounded by the hush of infinity, you realize that rest is sacred. That stillness is not an absence, but a presence all its own. In this stillness, ideas are born. Stars are born. You are born, over and over again, not just in body, but in spirit. Each night you sleep, a new version of you emerges, shaped by dreams, softened by wonder, deepened by the gentle pull of the unknown. Maybe somewhere, beyond even your dreams, a new star is forming right now. A cloud of dust and gas collapsing, warming, spinning itself into light. It doesn't know yet what it will become, whether it will host planets, life, oceans, art. It just is. Glowing, growing, carried forward by the same laws that gave birth to everything: gravity, light, time, and mystery. That same mystery surrounds you, too. Not something to be solved, but to be experienced. To be felt. The unknown isn't something to be afraid of, but something to float within, like you're doing now. The unknown is where the stars come from. Where dreams come from. Where all stories begin. And as you drift deeper, you begin to imagine your own beginning, not just your birth, but your origin in the stars themselves. Long before there was a planet called Earth, the atoms that make you were forged in ancient supernovae, scattered across space by explosions so massive they rippled through reality. Those atoms wandered the galaxy for eons until they became you. And now here you are, dreaming them back into memory. Closing the loop. Completing the journey. You are, quite literally, made of stardust. Every breath you take is borrowed from the cosmos. Every beat of your heart is timed by the motion of celestial bodies. Even your thoughts, those soft, drifting thoughts, are tiny sparks of electrical starlight. So there is no need to feel small in the face of the universe. You are the universe. A conscious ripple in an endless ocean of stars. And still you drift. Through memories that are not yours but feel familiar. Through feelings that echo across time: joy, curiosity, longing, peace. Maybe the stars feel these things too, in their own slow, silent way. Maybe when you look up at them, they are looking back. There's a comfort in that thought, like a warm blanket of gravity wrapping around you. You're not lost. You're not alone. You are right where you belong, in motion, in stillness, in awe. Everything that brought you here, every burst of light, every twist of time, every quiet moment of wonder, was always leading you to this place. This pause. This breath. And the universe will keep unfolding, just as it always has, just as it always will. Stars will live and die, galaxies will drift, and light will continue its endless journey across the void. And you, in your own way, will continue too. Dreaming. Becoming. Belonging. And as sleep takes you fully now, as the last edges of thought soften into calm, one truth remains: gentle, quiet, infinite. You are the universe, dreaming of itself. And all is well. And so, as the last remnants of consciousness fade into the quiet folds of sleep, you realize that the journey was never about reaching an end, but about the experience itself. The universe, in all its vastness, has always been unfolding within you, and now, in this serene moment, you are cradled by its infinite embrace. You are the dreamer, yes, but also the dream. The questions you have carried, the answers you have sought, each is just another star in the night sky, each shining softly with a light of its own. And now, as your thoughts drift further into the calm, there is no more searching. No more longing. Just a deep, peaceful acceptance that you are part of everything, and everything is part of you. The stars above, the galaxies spinning far away, the infinite stretch of the universe, they are not separate from you. They are within you, in every atom, in every pulse of energy, in every quiet beat of your heart. The cosmos continues, unhurried, unbroken, a song sung across eons. But for now, for this moment, you are still, floating in the space between thoughts, suspended in the gentle arms of the universe, a peaceful part of its eternal rhythm. There is no need for more. No need to rush. No need to understand it all. Everything simply is. And that is enough. And so, as you sleep, the stars continue their dance, the galaxies spin, the cosmos hums its ancient, silent song. You rest, knowing you are one with it all. That the universe, in its endless, beautiful complexity, has always been and will always be a part of you. And as your dreams weave through the silence, the universe whispers softly, "Rest. You are home." And with that, you surrender to the sleep that is both the beginning and the end, the journey and the destination. And in that stillness, as time folds into itself, the cosmos continues, forever, always, and evermore. The end, and the beginning.